trader. On this channel, I speak the truth, raw and undiluted, without fear or favor. So I'm going to really ask you to share this video because the topic of this video is of importance not just to Igbos, Nigerians, not just to Africans in the diaspora, but to the whole international community. Yesterday, the 29th of June 2021, the Minister of Justice in Nigeria, Abubakar Malami, addressed the nation and said that the self-acclaimed leader of the IPOB had been arrested. With due respect, Mr. Malami, it would appear that you lied. First of all, Nnamdi Kanu is not the self-acclaimed leader of the IPOB. Nnamdi Kanu is the legitimate, bona fide leader of the IPOB, indigenous people of Biafra, which is a very big organization seeking self-determination. Secondly, in the absence of any evidence, Nnamdi Kanu was not arrested, he was kidnapped. And it would be very advisable for the Nigerian government to prove to Nigeria and the world that Nnamdi Kanu was legitimately arrested, because the government remained silent on it. There is no way that the Interpol can arrest anybody in a country. Interpol does not issue warrant of arrest. What Interpol does is to issue red notice. If a government feels that anybody is a refugee somewhere, hiding from justice, has committed a crime in the country and run away, they can request from the Interpol a red notice. A red notice is not a warrant of arrest. The Interpol is going to have to examine that application carefully, properly, and all they do is to locate where this person is. And they will then ask the country to arrest him if there is a fear of him escaping, or to go on and proceed with the extradition. That means this officially sending him back. What this means is that if the Nigerian government had requested Interpol to help them, the only thing Interpol would have done was to issue a red notice. When they locate him, let's say they located him in UK, for example, but they've not told us where, they have to tell the government, the UK government, to arrest this man if he might escape and to start the proceedings for extradition. It is now a legal battle. It is a battle, an issue between two countries, two sovereign countries, Nigeria, where the crime was committed, and the United Kingdom, where Nnamdi Kanu is living, residing. What would happen next? The country where he was would have to examine their laws, their treaties. Do they have any treaty? That is, do they have any agreement? For those of you who don't know what treaties are, these are international agreements signed by many countries or two countries. Do they have such a treaty existing with Nigeria to extradite a person back there? UK does extradite its citizens, which means even though Nnamdi Kanu is a British citizen, if the requirements to extradite him are fulfilled, they can extradite him. But as I say, there are a lot of things that will be examined. It takes a long time, it's a long process, and it costs a lot of money. One, do international treaties exist? The next thing, hardly any country will extradite someone to a country where they know that that crime he's being accused of, the sentence is a death penalty. So countries that don't have the death penalty, even if you are guilty, they would hardly send Nnamdi Kanu back to Nigeria because they know that the crime he's being accused of, if he's found guilty, he will be put to death. Also, if he was arrested in Britain, they will consider that his family is living there. They would also consider, is there fundamental human rights? Would this man have access and protection of the fundamental human rights? Remember that Nnamdi Kanu fled from Nigeria after they went to attack his parents' home, where they would have most likely killed him. So, it is wrong of the Nigerian government to say that Nnamdi Kanu jumped bail, because when he was released on bail, he was in Nigeria. He ran away when they tried to kill him. And this also is a fundamental human right. Anybody that his life is endangered has a right to escape and seek asylum in another country. Now, of course, being that he has a British citizenship, he doesn't need to seek asylum there. But based on what happened to him, he would have been granted asylum. So Nnamdi Kanu never jumped bail. Nnamdi Kanu fled for his life. Another thing we have to bear in mind, even though countries extradite criminals, it is very rare that countries extradite political criminals. Nnamdi Kanu is not wanted for common crimes. He's wanted for political crimes. He's a political person. So it would not be easy to get the extradition of Nnamdi Kanu on the legal way.
The issue of this arrest is a major one. I must commend the security agency.
The former DSS boss, Mike Ejiofor, an Igbo man, says he's happy with what happened. He sees this as a due process of law. This is embarrassing. And you as an Igbo man come out to praise and approve the arrest of Nnamdi Kanu, when you know fully well that that thing was not an arrest but a kidnapping.
What the federal government did is to ensure that the judicial process is where they have taken him to, so that if there is any allegation of any crime that he is alleged to have committed, let him have his day in court, which I believe is the proper thing.
Even a lawyer, Monday Ubani, I saw a video of him saying that Nnamdi will face the due process of law. My learned colleague, when he was not brought to Nigeria under the due process of law, how do you expect him to get a fair trial? I saw the pictures of Nnamdi Kanu in the internet. In one picture, somebody is holding him to look up. Nnamdi Kanu may be drugged. He may have been given a lethal poison that works very slowly. Such things exist. There are poisons you can give. They take weeks to kill somebody. Anyway, we cannot be surprised. Where there are 12 disciples, there must always be a Judas. Talk less of the vast Igbo population. Certainly, we will have a few Judas that will always come out and speak. Justice must not only be done, it must be seen to be done. Every lawyer knows that. How can you assure people that Nnamdi Kanu is going to get a fair trial when already his arrest was not an arrest, but an illegal kidnapping? Probably even with violence and injury, lasting injury, as I've mentioned earlier on, the use of drugs. So it's very important for the Nigerian government to answer questions to Nigeria and to the international community. Where did you pick up Nnamdi Kanu? Which sovereign country authorized you and extradited Nnamdi Kanu back to Nigeria? Because there has to be a sovereign country that gave that extradition order. Was the extradition order given by that country, was it justified? Were all aspects looked into? Was Nnamdi Kanu given a lawyer to represent him? Was he able to raise all these points I've raised about extradition, death penalty, political, criminal, and all those issues? Were they raised and were they considered? Was Nnamdi Kanu given a proper medical examination? And the international community will have to answer why they are keeping quiet on this, why they have not made any important announcement on this. This is not acceptable. For there to be silence, we can be very sure that something has happened under the table. The cards that were moved to bring Nnamdi Kanu to Nigeria, those cards were not played on the table. They were secretly handed under the table. I just want to remember how a few days ago, Nigeria accidentally discovered over 200 trillion cubic feet of gas. What did Nigeria promise the international community for them to keep quiet? It is either Nigerians kidnapped him using mercenaries, or they handled out a deal with the international community that will favor both sides. The international community might likely be involved in this. All these years, Boko Haram has been raising havoc in the north. They didn't care, but they care about what is happening now in the east, because that is where the oil is. That is where their interest lies. And that is why they are ready to sell out a whole people. When Buhari boldly threatened and announced that Igbos were a dot, we were surrounded, he's going to deal with them in a language they understand. He knew why he was so bold. All these plans had already been set into motion and concluded. I would like to conclude my video by saying this. Nnamdi Kanu polarizes, yes. A lot of people love him, a lot of people hate him. But this is about fundamental human rights. This goes way further than Nnamdi Kanu. This is about the international community, a sovereign foreign land, possibly just assisting to illegally send someone back to Nigeria. If they do it once, they can do it again, and again, and again. And before you know it, even all the people seeking asylum will just be shipped away like that overnight, without any fundamental human rights, without any fair hearing. We can't allow this to happen. Whether you are for Nnamdi Kanu or you are against him, you have to stand up for justice. If whatever I have said in this video is wrong, please let the Nigerian government explain to the people how they brought Nnamdi Kanu to Nigeria. To avoid all reasonable doubt, to avoid all speculation, to avoid all conspiracy theories, lay the cards on the table. It is not the job of the Minister of Justice to announce that Nnamdi Kanu is arrested. I would have expected the President, the Minister of External Affairs, to make this announcement. So, you can see that a lot of things being done here, they are suspicious. And they lead to that assumption that Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped. So please, without delay, the Nigerian government, the international community, the country where he was arrested, should lay the facts on the table. We are not fools. So while the issue is being trashed out in Nigeria, this is a call not just on Igbos, but Africans in the diaspora to also stand up for this injustice, for this kidnapping and the illegally sending back of a man. Africans in the diaspora, stand up, because if they can do this to a man that has a British passport, what do you think they will do to thousands of us that are coming here to seek asylum? Maybe they will start drowning us deliberately in the seas, because they know we don't speak up for our rights. So let us speak up and demand explanations for what is going on now.